Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Scrimshaw Show, the NFL Picks edition. Um, every week, I'm going to be doing a pick show. I'm going to try and do this for all 18 weeks. It was an idea that was suggested to me by a listener of Politics, who emailed it to the host of that show that I frequently am a guest on. I'm going to do a Scrimshaw 6 of picks. I'm going to try and have a guest on most weeks. And we're going to see whether the potpourri of guests, mostly people I'm already dragging onto the Scrimshaw show, and then I'm stealing, extra 20 minutes of their time or whatever. Um, uh, there is I'm going to just try and steal them for the football show. We're going to see whether I can beat the collective knowledge of the my assorted friends here. Um, but most of all, buddy, Nathaniel Arfin. I just recorded an hour and 15-minute podcast with you or something. So how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm in a better mood now that I just had this therapy session. Um, so that was the podcast I was saying yesterday. Do you understand the rules?
My understanding is that I'm picking against the spread.
Yeah, six
I
games
got
against the
six
spread.
teams.
We're using DraftKings lines mostly because that's just what I have.
It's the book where I place my bets. So
Um, okay, I guess you're the guest. By the way, we don't have to pick different teams. Like, it's totally fine. For the sake of good podcasting, if one of us says a team and we both agree, or it says the same game, even, let's just have that conversation, and that let's not have the conversation twice.
sounds good to me.
You can make the first selection because I'm currently logging into the lines to figure out to get into the survivor. So,
All right.
deck.
Now I'm gonna leave my most contentious pick to last. I'm gonna make one that this seems like a value pick to me right off the top, and that's the Vikings at the Giants at -1.5. And now the Vikings, they did just draft JJ McCarthy and he destroyed his leg. So he's not going to be playing. But Sam Darnold is going to be starting for the Vikings, and the Giants are terrible.
I mean, that's a pretty good case that the Giants suck. Is an answer that I will find acceptable. The problem is Sam Darnold also sucks. Have you thought about that?
Sam Darnold does suck. They could always turn to Nick Mullins, who's played for them in the past, but this Minnesota Vikings team, it's not like they got worse this offseason. And they were just kind of a paper tiger the past couple of years, but Aaron Jones in the backfield, Justin Jefferson on the outside. I like their offensive line a little bit. Like, they're getting better, and their defense is still very, very good.
And they still won like 7, 8 games last year with Kirk Cousins out for most of the season. Like,
Yeah, right. Like I
is
said,
is
Nick
Darnold going to
Mullins.
be as bad? It's not whether Darnold is good in a sense. Is Darnold going to be as bad as the very bad version of McMullins we got at the end of the year? The fucking Pasternaut, yeah, yeah, fucking what the fuck is his name? Josh Dobbs. And who is the fuck they ended up starting in week 17 against Green Bay and just gifted us a free victory? I don't even
Um,
remember, but that's kind of the point.
was it Brett Ripien? Regardless, the Giants are
No,
just
no. Was it
like
Kellen Mund, maybe? I don't fucking remember.
you're just
Point
making people
being,
up.
the Minnesota quarterback situation was really bad, and Darnold is probably a bit of an upgrade on that.
Yeah.
The case for the Giants, and I'm not betting the Giants. The case for the Giants would be they did draft Roma Dunze in the first round. Daniel Jones has had a fair paucity of weapons, and maybe. I mean, Daniel Jones did lead the Giants to the second round 2 seasons ago.
That really did feel like more of a result of just kind of flukiness and luck,
I mean,
right? It was the
if he can run, I don't know. I don't feel strongly enough about betting it, but like, good quote unquote like teams around mediocre quarterbacks can be a value in the league. Speaking of decent teams with mediocre quarterbacks around them, I'm going Tennessee 3.5 against the Bears. Um, I think Will Levis is like okay. I think the Titans are like not quite as bad as people think. But do you know what the record of first overall quarterbacks in their first career starts are since 2002?
I'm gonna guess it's not very good.
14-1 straight up.
So I was looking at this game as well, but I'd love to hear what you have to say.
It's just a pure numbers play of like whatever you think of Caleb Williams, right? Could be great. Totally buy that. Like the chance that he's going to be great in game. I mean, CJ Stroud, right, was incredible last year.
Yeah.
Dog shit week 1. Dog shit.
Yeah, I tend to think that
like
that
growing
early
gains are a
games favor
totally
defense.
acceptable thing, which is why even quarterbacks who are very good and even very good in their rookie season, CJ Stroud, Andrew Luck, I'm sure there are others, fucking sucked week 1.
I'm looking at this Bears offense, and like DeAndre Swift was great for the Eagles last year, over 1,000 yards. But outside of that, you have the corpse of
You're
Keenan
not living
Allen.
you're not living the corpse of Keenan Allen and DJ Moore.
Yeah, who what? I don't like the Bears week 1 for sure. I'm excited for Caleb Williams, but I'm with you on the Titans
I
week
just
1.
don't understand. So are you picking them formally as one of your picks? Have I gotten
Yes.
you? Okay.
Yes.
And what do you do? -1.5 for the Vikings, and then Tennessee 3. I'm writing these down on a fucking sticky note, and I will do them, and I will type them into a doc and tweet them tomorrow. Okay, so you've just done your second pick, so I'm just gonna keep going. Dallas
Yeah.
2.5.
Okay. I'm on the other side of this. So I'd love to
Given
hear your argument.
um Rapey McGee is not good, or I guess
Well,
sexually harasser McGee is not good. He's been one of the worst quarterbacks in football the last 2 seasons, right? And last year we did the like, oh, if he has a full off season, he'll be better. No, he wasn't. He was actively very, very bad last year.
yeah, he was.
Of quarterbacks, he played a minimum of 16 plays last year. Okay. So not a particularly high standard. I could probably trim it down a little bit. Would you like to know where Deshaun Watson ranked in EPA?
Was he last?
42nd.
Oh no.
Here are some of the quarterbacks that he is around. Okay, he's one slot lower than Joe Flacco, who's just like a complete fraud. Justin Fields, Ryan Tannehill, who got benched, Tyrod Taylor, who got benched, Jared Stidham. Did you remember Jared Stidham played games? Marcus Mariota was better. Gardner Minshew was better. Brian Hoyer was better. Kyler was better. Joe Burrow was better. Russell Wilson, who got cut, was better. Both quarterbacks for the Saints, Taysom and Derek Carr. Richardson was better. Sam Darnold for the Niners in relief work and week 17. Taylor Heineke, who got benched. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Geno Smith. Drew Lock was better by EPA. Tyler Huntley was better. Nick Mullins was better. Andy Dalton was better. Mason Rudolph was better. CJ Beathard was better. Carson Wentz was better.
Oh wow. I didn't think he would qualify, but
16
woof.
points.
Now, here's the case
Again,
I'm
I
gonna
can
make
turn
for
that
the
and some of
Browns.
those would go away, but like Nick Mullins, Joe Flacco, like career backups. When like what in the Deshaun fucking Watson are we fucking waiting for?
Deshaun Watson is very likely cooked. Like he's not good.
Then
And
why the
the
fuck were they
Browns,
laying 2.5 against the Cowboys?
the because have you looked at the Cowboys lately?
Yeah, they didn't sign anybody in free agency. I'm aware.
They don't worry. Dalvin Cook is going to be on the field for them. CeeDee Lamb is out, so they have Brandon Cooks as one of their starting wide receivers. This is a bad football team.
Dak's playing, right?
Yes.
Cool. He could be throwing to you and me, and he'd be better at quarterbacking than Deshaun fucking Watson.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but I
Do they
think that
still
the
have Micah
Cleveland
Parsons? Is Micah
defense.
Parsons playing?
Let's see.
Pretty sure he is. If
Yeah.
I if he's not playing, I'll tell whatever. I mean, I'm keeping the pick. Like I don't give a shit. I've already bet the money. Um,
Yes, Micah Parsons is slated to play.
um. So like, okay, you've got Micah Parsons, so Deshaun will be on his ass 7 times in the game,
I
and
still think this
Dak can
defense
score
can
enough
stop the
points.
Cowboys. They have nothing. They have nobody behind them.
Uh, okay, I don't give a shit. Deshaun's fucking sucks. That's enough.
Well, give me the. I'll give you the 2.5 points, and I'll concede that Deshaun Watson sucks, and I will still take the Cleveland Browns.
I mean, do you want to make a case actively for Cleveland being good, or is it just that you're an Eagles fan and you're being a bitch ass?
Well, I legitimately think that Dak Prescott will not be able to throw a ball that isn't a floater over the middle next or this Sunday. Um, you're talking about a defense with Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith on the edge. Plus, you got Jordan Hicks in the middle, Owusu Koromoa. Like this is a good defense, and
It's a very good defense. That I will concede.
I think
But I
that
think the
they will
Cowboys
be
defense is
able.
pretty damn good too. Like
I think if
I don't think the difference in defenses justifies the difference in quarterback.
that's fair. Dallas is just they're missing all of these necessary pieces on offense. Their offensive line looks terrible this year. I think they're going to win 3 games, and it makes me very happy. And this isn't going to be one of them.
You're just being over. New England 8.5 feels too much. The Bengals have not started a season well in the Joe Burrow era. Um, the Patriots still have a good defense. It's one of the lower totals on the board. It's a 41 total. And generally speaking, getting 8.5 points in a game with a 41 total is more valuable than a game with a 51 total for fairly obvious reasons.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there, but it's not one of my picks. I think Mac Jones has a bounce back year. I think
Mac Jones is no longer in New England.
of course he's not.
Jacoby Brissett is starting this game.
Oh geez. Oh
The
wow.
the one case against this is they're literally not starting Drake May, despite the fact that they openly said he's played better than Jacoby Brissett because they're worried about the offensive line. But I think this game, like this has 17-10 written all over it to me, or some nonsense like that. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna touch that one, but
especially
I
because Jamar Chase is what, unclear whether he's playing. These guys need to get their contract holdouts figured out sooner than this. It's unacceptable.
that's right. Yes, Jamar Chase is not playing.
Yeah. I've
Brutal.
been assuming he wasn't. I didn't know we had gotten official confirmation on that. You can tell that you and I have been recording for the last like 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're having great conversations here. But yeah, I like the pick, but I don't think I'll include that game.
It's also week one and underdogs, and I don't know.
Yeah. My next pick, if we're good for that.
Yep.
How are the Miami Dolphins only getting 3.5 points against the Jaguars?
So I only wrote down 4 of my picks, and I was waiting to think about them. I am a Jags optimist this year in a general sense. I think Lawrence will be better this year than he was. I think in general, betting on the team that everyone was overhyping the year before and has now completely been forgotten by the hype cycle is a generally smart move. But isn't this just the kind of team that Miami puts 38 points on?
Yes. Like this feels like a 70-point game to me.
It's not going to be that bad because like Lawrence can at least move the ball enough.
Oh, I meant the total.
Oh, totally. Okay, I thought you were making a
No,
Denver
no, no.
Miami reference.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. I forgot they did that.
right. Well, you picked 70, which made me think that that was intentional. If you had said 65, I wouldn't have clocked as much. I think I'm going to join you on that. Make the case.
Um, well, you kind of started it out perfectly there with Trevor Lawrence. He's probably gonna have a bounce back season. I do like a lot of the pieces on the Jags offense. ETN's probably gonna be healthy. You got Gabe Davis in from Buffalo, who I really, really like. Who I'm hearing is going to start over Christian Kirk in two wide sets, by the way. Um, but the Miami offense is just next level. They just put up points, and I don't think the Jags defense will have an answer for Tyreek Hill.
So I wrote for the lines that I'm a Miami optimist as well. The same column actually where I did my Jags optimism. But the like basic thesis of the case is that we're all just bored of Miami, right? Because we know what Miami are, and more importantly, what they're not. And what they are is a good team. And what they're not is a great team, right? They're not winning a Super Bowl. They're
Yeah.
not coming close to a Super Bowl. You should bet against Tua in basically every big spot, right? But that
Is
is like, but the
yeah.
problem is that your Super Bowl odds and your win total are directly correlated, right? But that's not really what Miami is. And so they've priced their Super Bowl props properly, which lowered their season long expectations and lowers their week one expectation. This is still a Mike McDaniel offense with a quarterback that was fourth in EPA last year. And my contention is not that Tua is the fourth best quarterback in the NFL, but Tua can put up the fourth best results in the NFL or the top 7 results in the NFL because he has a Mike McDaniel offense with 2 fucking glorified track stars as wide receivers.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's about the results. And we get into like, oh, who's a good quarterback? Who's a bad quarterback? We're gonna have this debate in a minute. I think you can guess what my next pick is gonna be. But like Miami's gonna put up 40.
Yeah. It's gonna be a track meet, and the Jags just won't be able to keep up.
For sure. Niners 4.5. Best bet of the week.
Okay.
I don't best bet of the week. The Jets are frauds.
Yes.
So when Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers in 2022, he was 23rd by EPA per play amongst quarterbacks. He was 22nd in success rate, and he was 18th or 19th in completion percentage over expectation. Okay. He was not a good quarterback 2 years ago. Since then, he didn't play football at all last year, had an Achilles injury that he was allegedly going to come back to the playoffs from, and then was so unhealthy that he couldn't play in the fucking preseason. We've got Nick Bosa in a blue state in an election year. This motherfucker isn't making it through the game. What are we doing here?
4.5 seems free against this.
I bet it at a better number because I did think Ayuk and Trent Williams were gonna be playing, and they are. But like legitimately, I'm gonna be betting an alt to 7.5, an alt to 10.5, an alt to 13.5, and 16.5. The Niners are the best team in football. They might not win the championship. They're the best all-around team. And fuck, oh, but Brock Purdy's not that guy. Who gives a shit if he's that guy? He gets to run the Shanahan offense. Go fuck yourself. It's about results. And Brock Purdy puts up better results than a lot of the quarterbacks that you think are better than him. because it's not about raw skill. This isn't a raw skill competition. This is about a winning competition. And Brock Purdy consistently puts up points, especially against mediocre teams. The Jets are a fucking aging nightmare of people who are just begging and begging and begging that their aging curves don't hit yet. Come on, Mike Williams, don't get hurt for the 17,000th time. Fucking their whole offensive line is fucking a billion years old. Rodgers is fucking 40. He's not going to be able to move against this offensive line. What the against this defensive line of San Francisco? What are we talking about?
Yeah. Tyron Smith looked bad before last year's end. How long has he been in the league?
A
This
million
team
years.
is
This is the whole Jets thing. Is that they just signed a bunch of 33-year-olds, 33 or older people, plus Mike Williams, who's turned, perpetually injured and also probably pretty old. And we're just like, fuck it. Let's hope everyone stays healthy. It's not going to work.
no. And yeah, the Niners are gonna blow them out.
So are you joining me on San Fran?
How many picks have I made?
You've made 4.
I've made 4, so I have, if I make this, that's 5. Yeah, I'll join you on that. And then
And then you have a
I
spicy pick for 6, you said.
yes, I am going to take the Philadelphia Eagles in Brazil against the Green Bay Packers. It's a 2-point spread for the Eagles. It's a home game for the Eagles.
I'm just gonna point out you are an Eagles fan. You should, your bias should be made clear here.
Oh, for sure. Now I really, you are a Packers fan. I'm an Eagles fan. I've been looking forward to this game for a while.
You and I were supposed to be at this game.
Yeah, and then they decided to have it in Brazil, stealing a home game from Philly. Darius Slay made some interesting comments about it, saying that they're sequestered into their hotels, and he's upset that the NFL sent them to such a dangerous country. But this Eagles team is still a very, very good football team. Last year, they had a lot of offensive woes. It was hard to watch games, but they got rid of the offensive coordinator. They brought in Gary Kubiak to run the offense. The major departure was Jason Kelce, and we've had a center in waiting in Cam Jurgens, and we went out, we got Mekhi Becton. The offensive line is solid. We got Jahan Dotson playing in the slot, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith on the outside with Saquon Barkley in the backfield. This is the best team in football. I know you like the 49ers, but this is the best team in football.
Jalen Hurts is a significantly worse quarterback than Brock Purdy. He's arguably a worse quarterback than Jordan Love. Like you want to blame a lot of that last season on the coaching, whatever. One, Nick Sirianni's still in the building, and it's very clear that coach and quarterback don't like each other. 2, even in 2022, Hurts threw a lot of 50-50 balls that you got the right side of the 50-50 on route to your success. And number 3, and this is the most potentially important point, the Packers fired Joe Barry finally. And I've been begging for him to do this. If you guys are still fairly run heavy. I know you boosted your secondary. That is true. That's a fair point. Totally. By the way, how excited are you to have the Jackie Robinson of white cornerbacks on your team?
Is that Kenny Pickett?
Cornerbacks.
Oh, cornerbacks. Yes.
Cooper DeJean.
Yeah. I mean, Cooper DeJean. It's great. I don't know if he's gonna get many snaps. He'll probably play into maybe dime packages, but
it's just more like you guys did do the right things and you fixed a lot of your problems this summer. That's fair. Like I think you're winning the NFC East.
I don't think there's something would have to go
Well, you're
terribly
really
wrong.
down on the Cowboys compared to market. So
I think they're a terrible team. But I'm with you. I don't think Jalen Hurts is all that good. The guy doesn't have the arm strength on the intermediate routes. He does lob up a lot of deep balls. But we still have AJ Brown and Devonta Smith, right? AJ Brown wins those deep balls. That's what he does.
yeah,
John Dodson has a new wrinkle.
that's still a fairly high variance strategy on a
Absolutely.
week to week basis. Even if you think that over the course of a season you're gonna get there.
But the big problem with the Eagles offense last year was a lot of lateral pass movement and not enough um, intermediate and deep uh, progressing routes. And he had Jalen Hurts throwing these bubble screens, and he just doesn't have the zip on the ball to get it there. The Eagles need to move fast. They need to uh, take advantage of the fact that Saquon is going to open up that lateral running, and then capitalize on the downfield game by using the run game with Hurts and Barkley.
You need to be willing to basically just turn Saquon into, if you're gonna win this game, you need to be willing to turn Saquon into essentially a glorified wide receiver, which I think you can do, but like if the Packers run defense is better, wow, Jesus Christ, we've really been recording for a long time. So much for a hard 20 minutes in and out. But yeah, I think you totally can win this game. I have no interest in betting it from like a just like straight up being honest. I have no interest in it from a gambling standpoint. I think it's going to be a really interesting game. The best case for you is that Jordan Love might sneakily be a fraud. Played well for like 10 games and we gave him the buckets full of money. I don't feel necessarily great about that decision. I mean, hopefully he's the guy, but there will be moments this season where we're like, is Jordan Love the guy? And we won't know the answer. So yeah. Chargers -3 against the Raiders.
Chargers -3 against the Raiders. Yeah, I think I'm with you there.
The
Talking into it.
Raiders fucking suck.
Yeah.
What else is there to be talked into? The Raiders might legitimately be the worst team in football.
I feel like you're disrespecting Gardner Minshew a bit here.
I'm perfectly fine doing that. The fighting Max Crosby's are not winning this game. Herbert is still an elite quarterback in this league, and I do not give a fuck what people say. I don't care that Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are gone. Both of them fucking sucked anyways by this point in their careers. Like, I don't care. Herbert's better than any nonsense that's going to be put out. Jim Harbaugh knows how to win games. I don't think he's going to be a great coach, but I mean, he turned around a dog shit Niners program into, 3 straight NFC championship games.
I think the key here is they have to win with him while the players still can tolerate him.
Right. That's exactly like that's the thing. Harbaugh has like 4 years and then everyone wants him gone. And like that works better in college because
There's more jobs.
Well, there's more jobs, but also your players are gone within 4 years, right? So by the time the players are sick of Harbaugh's nonsense, they're fucking in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
And then by that point, they love him because it's like, well, he got me to the NFL, so the hard love was worth it. But like that shit's not going to work on 29-year-olds. It's not going to work on Herbert. But like, who cares? They're going to win. The Raiders are ass.
Oh, they're for sure winning this game.
And so, like, yeah, for me, like, Chargers feel fine. This is really just a Justin Herbert, still that guy thing. He's back on the injury report, but only because the NFL made the Chargers put him on the injury report. Like, he's playing. My 6 picks, my Scrimshaw 6. Tennessee +3.5, Dallas +2.5, Niners -4.5, Patriots 8.5, Miami -3.5, Chargers -3. Your 6, Philly -2, San Fran -4.5, Miami -3.5, Cleveland -2.5, Tennessee +3.5, Minnesota -1.5. Nathaniel Arfin, what is your best bet of the week?
I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. That game just I love the offensive firepower. It's gonna be fun to watch. And I really think the Dolphins just completely outpace the Jags.
I'm going with the Niners. I agree with the case for the Dolphins, but I'm going with the Niners mostly because I've just talked too much shit about the Jets. Not to. Um, Thanks for coming on, buddy. Nathaniel at Arfin Nathaniel on Twitter, at Scrimshaw on Twitter for me. Read my political betting, NFL, etc. at thelines.com. Read political writing at scrimshawscripted.substack.com. Listen to me when I do other people's podcast appearances that I mostly tweet out. Buy my book, Salvation in the Storm. You know the drill. Have a good football season, guys.
Have a good one.